Hey, it's Prevak, and today we're installing these red seat belts and even possibly height adjustable seat belts in my 2016 Polo GT. Now these don't come this way. I actually picked these seat belt loops up from scrap and I installed this red loop, the red belt inside it. The process involves removing the stock belt out of it. You have to unwind the entire belt and you have to pull out a section from the front which locks in. So you have to pull it out, possibly pull out the pin as well, or just cut the end of it and just pull out the entire belt out of this mechanism. You have to hold the mechanism in place and then just get uh, the new belt stitched in exactly the way your stock ones came, and that's what I've done right here. So it's just time for installation now. I have both the belts and I have the mechanism for height adjustable belts as well. So let's see if it works. I actually got them painted black. I picked them up from a scrap Vento, so they were beige. You can see the inside is beige. I got them painted black because it'll accent the red color very well. I think this red will pop out even more with the black one instead of the grey one that is inside of the car right now. And so far I haven't gotten the rear upholstery done. So this is a first interior mod that's going in before the reupholstery, because reupholstery is due since I did the Superb Seas. Those are wine, this is black, so entire reupholstery is due, but I think this will match very well with the reupholstery as well once I get it done. So let's get started. The process obviously involves opening up your stock seat belts first, for which we have to remove this trim, and to remove these two trims we have to remove this trim first. So for that we'll need to pull the seat up. There is a small lock for this trim. We'll need to remove that lock and then we can just pull this trim up. We can yank it up and all the locks will come apart and this entire trim will be able to come out. In your case you might not have this button. I had installed this, which I'll tell you later. This doesn't matter right now. And then you can remove this panel and then this grey one. So let's get started. So upon opening the trim pieces, I realized that we cannot actually install height adjustable seat belts. So I think I will get my grey trim painted black later on. So right now I'll just install the red seat belts for now. I was really looking forward to the height adjustable one, but I think only Vento and Rapids were offered with it because the pillar was taller, or I don't know why they changed the pillar for Polo and for Vento Rapid, but whatever. I think Polo cannot take height adjustable seat belts unfortunately, so we'll just go on and install the red ones on the stock trim. So to remove the trims you just have to basically yank these out. There's one clip at the top here that holds on this grey piece. The second clip holds it on to over here, and the rest are for this black trim piece, the big one at the bottom. These are the 4 points for that and 2 at the bottom. It's very easy. You just have to yank these out and they'll come out. And there are 3 bolts for your seat belt to come out. There's one for here, one right here, which is for the mechanism, the entire mechanism that holds your seat belt in place, and the other one is it's beneath the carpet. You have to remove your mat and you have to lift up your carpet slightly to see this bolt, and there's one at the top. Those are the 3. You don't have to necessarily remove your seats unless you have Skoda Superb seats in your car, which I had, and they had to be reupholstered anyway, so this is the perfect time to remove them and send them off to the shop to get reupholstered. So I'll put in the stock seats that I have, and it just made the job a lot easier with the seats out. But if you have stock seats, it's not necessary to remove your seats to remove these trims or to get access to that bolt down there. While trying to remove the belts, you will encounter this guide right here, which is sort of hooked into the chassis of the car. You just need a plastic hammer or any mallet, rubber mallet, and you just have to hit it once here and just repeat it until it falls right out. It is not very snug in there. It'll come out rather easily, and then you can just hammer it back in with a mallet. Don't use a metal hammer, it can bend or dent it. So it is very straightforward to do. I already have the other side done, as you can see. Only if that grey panel were black it would have looked a lot better. So soon I'll turn that to black. You'll see the entire look when these seats are upholstered as well. So I think it'll really pack up the interior. Before putting the trim back together, make sure to remove these clips and put them back in their respective slots so your trim sits perfectly in its place. Now with the belts bolted in and trims put back together, all we need to do is add this button which is provided in the kit so that it holds the buckle in place, because right now the buckle is fallen all the way down there. So I'll just add the button right over here. I need to poke a small hole in the center pleat of it and just add that button, and it will hold the buckle in place right there. So all you need to do is just to pull up the buckle above the height of the button, poke a small hole through there, and just add the button. It'll just lock in its place after you have poked the hole. And just like that, we've added the button and the buckle stays in place. After putting the car all back together, this is what the belts finally look like. As you can see, they are bright and red and they match the car very well, and it continues the theme of black and red over all the car. It continues the black and red theme that is all over the car. As you can see, even the steering black and red, and in the rest of the interior is also black and red. All these lights turn on red except for the steering. This is new. So it matches with the car very well. One thing I will let you know before you think of going with these belts is that these are slightly thinner than the stock ones. The stock black belts or stock any belts that come with the car, these are very slightly thinner than that. I think maybe 50% less, or I mean they're not, this is not half of that, but slightly thinner. And another thing is that when you get these done, you have to get the ends stitched. So make sure you get them stitched by someone who has previously done this. As you can see, the ends need to be restitched once you get the red or any color belts installed. You need to restitch the ends, one over there and the other is just in the spool that I showed in the video. But so because there is stitching involved, you need to go to someone who is experienced with stitching belts, because this is not the normal thread you use for your seats. This is slightly stronger thread than that, and they'll know what they need to use once you tell them that you're working with your belt. So this is something to look out for, that you go to someone who knows what they're doing. And secondly, that these are slightly thinner. So before considering this mod, make sure you have these two things in check, that you know that this is very slightly thinner. So yeah, I think this looks really good. And after my seats are back from reupholstery, these will match that even better. So I'll show you once my seats come back, maybe in a separate video, not in this one. This was just about the belts. So that is it about the belts, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.